G'day guys. We believe that the perfect campaign creates the best environment to achieve a premium price for our vendor and earns us the right to us referral business from both our buyers and vendors at the end of the campaign. Over 75% of the people that are on our inquiry schedules are vendors of comparable properties we're selling. 50% of those buyers are likely to sell their property in the next 12 to 18 months. We never judge a person in the environment we meet them in. And what I mean by that is we want to make sure that we give each and every single buyer from the 1st to the 250th on our inquiry schedules the best opportunity to buy the property, because competition is what drives price at the end of the campaign, but it also is a paid interview for these buyers to understand how we would manage the sale of their property in the next 12 months to 2 years. In the first week of a perfect campaign, we guarantee to our vendors that we will achieve 100% market coverage to local vendors, VIP buyers, interstate buyers, offshore buyers, and our CBRE database prior to the first advertisement. A measure of success is having somewhere between 150 and 200 inquiries before our vendor spends a cent. Why do we target local owners? Local owners, if they've had a positive experience with their asset, are likely to expand their portfolio and can be some of the best buyers. An old resi thing that you guys do, 6 to one side, 6 to another, and 12 to the other side. We expand that and make sure we've got every single owner in our market and they're contacted via written letter in the first day of the campaign. VIP buyers are anyone who have inquired, inspected, requested a contract, or bid on a comparable property in the last 6 to 12 months. These guys have got their finance approved, they've mentally decided they want to buy a property, and more often than not, they're at the top of the list at the end of the campaign. Interstate buyers are people who've inquired on similar assets to the one we're selling at the moment in Sydney, and we make sure that we give them the best opportunity to diversify from their home state. Offshore buyers are people who want to invest in what is considered to be a safe, political, and economical environment. Similar to the interstate buyers, they want to diversify from their hometown. It's important that we engage all these buyers in the first week of the process to maximise competition at the end of the campaign. Our CBRE database covers apartment blocks, development sites, commercial investments, retail investments, industrial, and we need to make sure that every single buyer who's inquired on an apartment block who may consider moving to a development site, or a development site buyer who may consider buying an office building, on our office building buyer who may consider buying a retail shopping centre, is across the opportunity we have on hand. At the end of the first week, we go out to the public market. And the public marketing campaign is designed to uncover any new or unknown buyers that haven't come onto our database yet. We're proud to say that an average of 86% of our inquiry comes from our database, and I'm confident that's why most vendors choose to use us over our competitors. Week 2 to 5 of the campaign is about capturing the buyer's attention and making sure they're looking at our property, not our competitor's property. 24-hour callbacks from the first inquiry, 24-hour callbacks from the inspection, 14-day callbacks from the first inquiry to qualify our buyers, and 5 emails that go out every Monday at 4 p.m. We want to make sure we're giving our buyers the best opportunity to bid with confidence and aggressively at the end of the campaign, which is what drives competition, and competition is what drives price. This process guarantees that we will get the best result for our vendor, and the byproduct is we've got raving fans from our buyers, who are our future vendors. Excellence in vendor management is a result of perfect buyer management. We believe there's a multiplier of 5. If we were to sell a $5 million property and make $100,000 from that commission check, we're 1/5 of the way to a successful vendor management. That's fundamental to the way we manage our vendors. We want to manage them past the sale at hand, and we want to manage them towards giving us continued business from them, their family, and their network. How do we do it? We speak to our vendors twice a day for the first day of the campaign. Fundamentally, we want to be the first person they hear from in the morning and last person they hear from at night. It's not good enough just to get a premium price for our vendor. We want to ensure that the process is simple and easy for them to transact, so they refer us onto their friends and family. In line with the perfect buyer management, we're able to actually update them daily. It's not good enough just to do all this hard work. We have to report back how hard we're working, so at the end of the campaign, the vendor has maximum amount of information, because information is power, and we give the vendor power to make the right decision at the end of the campaign. So in line, just quickly, Monday's local owners, Tuesday VIP buyers, Wednesday interstate buyers, Thursday offshore buyers, Friday CBRE database. Have a think about how powerful that is when that vendor wants to refer us to his friend. Nick Heaton got 150 to 200 inquiries. He's the first agent that told me he had the best database and actually delivered on that statement. 86% of the inquiry schedule came from his database. This vendor communication is designed, I'm repeating myself, to give the vendor power to make an educated decision at the end of the campaign, but more importantly, to get the multiplier of 5. We're not happy with $100,000, we want $500,000 from the sale of a $5 million property. If you're not reporting what you're doing, it never happened. For the remainder of the campaign, in line with our buyer management process, we update the vendor on what we're going to do today and the results of yesterday. Because we send a note to our inquiry schedule every Monday, we're able to educate the vendor that we're going out to all buyers. Tuesday, we go out to our vendor and provide them with the response from that note to the buyers. Wednesday, we update them on the numbers of people that inspect the property. Thursday, we update them on the 24-hour callback to those buyers. And Friday, we provide them with a summary of the campaign. Although commercial agents only work Monday to Friday, we commit to sending a text message with a photo of their marketing and any of the inquiries that come through the Sydney Morning Herald. And Sunday, we send a short note, text message or email, or phone call, depending what their preference is, detailing what the objectives of the next week are. There shouldn't be one moment that our vendor is uncertain of what we're doing for them every single day of the campaign. "12 months ago, I stood in front of our sales team that Tom mentioned before and guaranteed them that we would double their income and double the size of their business if they followed the processes I just shared with you. I'm happy to say that as a result of those processes and everyone executing, we've grown our business by 124% year on year. Now I'm going to share with you a real-time case study of how we got $250 million in sales through one inquiry schedule with no prospecting calls. We're appointed to sell this building for Southern Cross Oz Stereo on a sale and leaseback. And on the second day of the campaign, through our interstate network, a WA-based property fund came to us and said they wanted to diversify from WA, which was a good idea. They bought the property for just under $20 million, and we got about 250 inquiries from that campaign. Inquiry number 72 was a consultant for CabCharge. CabCharge was changing their business, and they wanted to do a short sale and leaseback similar to our previous sale that Southern Cross Oz Stereo did. And they appointed us with no submission as a result of the way we managed their inquiry on the first property. We sold that to a Chinese buyer that came through our Shanghai office that we met on the fourth day of the campaign. The property on the right is a building in Wallara, which was unsuccessfully marketed by a competing agent. His development manager inquired on St Leonard's to get a better understanding of how we do things differently without letting us know. At the end of that campaign, we're exclusively appointed. We ran an international expressions of interest campaign and sold that property to a buyer we met on the first day of our process, who was a local owner who had their building compulsory acquired and had capital gains and stamp duty concessions from the state government, permitting them to pay a premium price for that property. The building at the bottom left-hand side was one of the unsuccessful buyers for the first property. They fundamentally changed their investment strategy from being a buyer to being a vendor, given the heat in the market and the way we managed their inquiry. We were appointed to sell the property. We sold it again through our Shanghai office to a Chinese buyer for $54 million. The last two properties have a combined value of $150 million, which we've got on the market at the moment, and that was given to us by the buyer of the first property. The WA-based fund have now decided it's time to return to WA. So in under 12 months, without a canvas call, we will invoice a gross commission of around $4 million. I share this process with you to serve you. And what I mean by that is, I encourage you to manage your buyers and vendors to a standard that your competitors don't, because it is the best form of prospecting. 10 before 10, email to your vendor database, letter to your vendor database once a month is very important, but I ask to consider focus on your buyers and vendors, and that will get you referral business. And referral business is clean business, and clean business is the highest paid business. Thanks for your time.